Gang Hang. Good morning, everyone. My name is Matt Baum.
I am the internet's Joe Patrick.
There he is. All right. And
normally there's a little bit of preamble.
it's time for our Gang Hang. We have a show called the Two-Headed Nerd Comic Book Podcast, and on Saturdays we get together with our listeners that we call our Listen Nerds. Clever, right? See what I did there? And we talk. We talk about stuff and things, and there's all kinds of stuff and things to talk about that we don't cover on the show, including a new Fantastic Four trailer. The first full Fantastic Four trailer has dropped. How do we feel? What did we see, and what do we think?
I feel great. I feel great about it.
I think it looks good.
I feel great.
Really
yeah,
good.
I think I got it.
Yeah.
This reinforces my terrible casting of Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic.
Jim does not like
know,
Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic.
No.
I think it looks like Pedro Pascal's in a movie. I think that's what it looks like. It
That's-
doesn't look like.
100% it is.
Exactly.
That's accurate.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, there he is.
I
He's just
agree.
there.
I agree. I
Which
don't
I think is, yeah.
Pedro is not disappearing into the role, but Pedro carries enough goodwill, and he's a good enough actor that I'm not worried he's going to be bad or anything like that. But I do agree he is not disappearing into the role of Mr. Fantastic. Certainly, I don't know. I don't know if Krasinski did it better, but
more, yeah. I mean, I wanted to give it a shot. I think we're going to see more of it as we see maybe some typical realisms, like when there's a problem and like that scene, like where he's at the board and he's like completely engrossed in it, and then you start to realize, yeah, this dude's the effing weirdo, but he's a good weirdo, in a good way.
Yeah, he's not a bad weirdo. He's a good weirdo. But
Yeah,
I don't know. They've sure.
Reed always has been, and I think
I mean, it
Pedro can
depends
pull that
on
off.
the stories where everything is Reed's fault. That happens.
That happens a lot.
What,
This might be-
3/4 of the stories?
Yeah, and you know something? This might turn out to be Reed's fault too. Whatever happens in this movie, to be honest. So,
Yeah.
He says it in the trailer. He says it. This is my
Oh
fault.
yeah, like
He does.
I sent something about like I sent my voice out into the cosmos and they heard or
Yeah.
something to that effect.
yeah, they
Yeah,
stretched too far into the cosmos, is what they said. And
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
heard.
Well, you
Oh,
can't
yeah,
resist.
stretched.
You
Get
can't
it.
resist that,
Yeah.
right? You have to go
Ironic.
straight to that because that's the most interesting thing about Reed. He's so intelligent. He does not realize what he's done. Like every time.
I think the alternate universe setting is why they cast Pedro Pascal, because he has the weirdly like 50s oh gosh kind of mannerisms to him that's more so than
Sure, he
any
can
other
pull
actor
that
that we
off,
put
yeah.
that you can't put Krasinski was great as a Hickman esque Reed Richards. We need a Lee Kirby Reed Richards.
I don't disagree with that.
And
I think you're right. Krasinski would have been a great like Hickman
I
weirdo
think
Richards. I
There's
agree.
something very Rockwellian about how Pedro Pascal presents himself or is
Yeah.
able to present himself.
Right,
Also
right.
something
And so
very
I think that
safe about
he
the
fits
casting.
that sort of what, Matt?
I said there's also something very safe about the casting. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure what does that even mean, safe? Like
What do you think it means?
Any famous actor they would pick would be safe. Any name that's going to get people to buy a ticket is safe.
Brian, would you
That's
like
what's
to
safe-
explain to
but
Joe what I'm
that's
talking
safe.
about? Yeah, that's safe.
Yeah, no. Well, think about like Chris Evans, right? Like Chris Evans was, and Chris Helmsworth, Chris Helmsworth was an unknown essentially.
Mhm.
Like who knew him before that movie? And
Yeah.
Chris Evans was good in lots of things, but never a lead. And, other than not another teen movie, which is not really, that's
Sure.
a goofy thing, but he's excellent. And he was, the best part of those early Fantastic Four movies. But he is Steve Rogers. Like he is Captain America. Like
Right.
he became that thing and he became a leading man because he's got, I just watched a scene from The Losers that he's in and he's fantastic. Like he's
That movie is great.
The Losers was a great
that
film.
movie's it's great and he's great and it's just like he's got it. And then like
The Don't Stop Believing scene when he's
it's the Don't Stop Believing scene.
Yeah.
And he takes,
absolutely.
he's changing and he's the nerd, but he's so ripped because he just isn't. He just, he's got muscles everywhere. It's just very funny. But he's like, that was a chance because they didn't know how that movie was going to do. And it was a whole new thing. And to have like one of the most recognizable actors on the planet who's in 25 different things now, including a show that the second season just is it the second or third is just on
Second.
HBO like this week.
Yeah.
Like
It's very safe.
that's not a risk. There's no risk there. It's just like
Pedro. Okay.
Yeah,
Pedro. Like he's just like, that's what it is. Like it's stunt casting in a really safe way.
Yeah.
And they got to do what they got to do. But I wish that they had taken a risk on someone who's good on a procedural, or, someone who plays a charming but kind of awkward best friend in a rom-com, like something like that. Like that's what they did with the other people.
Will Trent.
Oh, Will season 3 of Will Trent is
he would have been great.
A+ television.
That guy would have been
fantastic.
great.
And Will Trent, the guy that plays Will Trent is awesome.
And no shame on
great.
Pedro Pascal. He's a great actor. It's just extremely safe. Even RDJ as Iron Man back in the day, that was a risk.
I mean,
that was a huge
No,
risk.
RDJ was a huge risk in 2008.
That's why, like,
literally,
the richest man in Hollywood, because he has, he got that backdoor stuff. So he, and I commend them. Their biggest success in Marvel Studios and all that is the casting, because they managed to find the right person almost across the board.
Yeah.
Like, they did such a great job with all those early castings. And then it's like, and Pedro, because it's not Reed Richards, it's Pedro Pascal. Like,
that's the
it's
thing.
just, it's hard when he stands there and he kind of looks at you with those like nervous dad face. He's like, I don't know how to help you. I hope not. Like, and I know those are specific scenes. They put it on purpose, but it's like, those are the most Pedro Pascal-y scenes that you can think of, other than like the crazy smile from the meme with the, in the car.
You know
what I mean? Like, there's like two iconic things.
The weight of massive talent, talent.
Kidnapped by a dictator. Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, it's like, there's just, so that's the safe casting, is like, they did that. And then they got the guy from The Bear, which is, I hate the voice, and I'll go down with that. I think the rest of the casting, you could say they are taking a reach on, and so they played it safe with Pedro Pascal as the biggest name there. Like, think about how, and it's died down a little bit, but The Bear had, like, everyone was talking about The Bear 24 hours a day. Oh yeah, like nonstop. So it's like, how about the cousin from The Bear? Like, oh, okay, like everyone is thinking about him because he's the best part of the show, and he's the most charismatic part of the show, and he's the most fun on the show, and like, everybody is just like, he was on the board of like, who should we get? Oh, get that guy. It does. Like, it does feel like Marvel goes to ChatGPT and says, if we wanted to make a Fantastic Four movie, who are the most safe and famous people at the moment that we could put in it that are a little edgy, and not too ridiculously famous?
I mean, I'm going to push back on that.
Minus Tom Cruise,
I'm going to push back on that a little bit, because he's in the public consciousness, but what's wrong with that? Like, Pedro Pascal, I get what you're saying about him, but like, I don't think it's out of bounds for a company like Marvel to approach people that are that have a lot of buzz behind them, especially buzz because of their talent and not because of any other stupid reason. Oh, for sure. And I don't think you're wrong at all. And to say, hey, let's make Cousin into the thing. Sure. He's going to be Cousin for about 5 minutes. But Joe, and then he's going to be a rock monster the rest of the time. But when you look at the whole equation and you go, okay, we got Cousin from The Bear. Oh, and we got Eddie from Stranger Things. Oh, it's like, it all starts to add up. Right? Well, I don't want a goddamn thing like Eddie. Yeah. And also, the last season of Stranger Things was 5 years ago. Doesn't matter. It's still Eddie.
All I was going to say, the other thing that I think everyone is also forgetting about, look, yes, is it true that they have quote unquote famous people? They didn't put any indie actors or anything like this. We get it. Mm-hmm. But the other part is, they need to have a Fantastic Four movie that's successful. Sure. Let's not kid ourselves. The last two sucked. They sucked. And if they can put a good movie with recognizable names that put in box office, that's a win for them. Yeah. And I personally don't really have a problem with any of the cast, quite frankly. It's not like it's so out of left field, like, oh my God, there's no way they're going to pull this off. The story looks good. They seem pretty reasonable as the characters. We'll see when the movie comes out. And yeah, I personally don't really see too much of an issue with the cast itself at the moment. The movie, we'll have to see how it turns out. But so far, so good to me.
I don't have any issues with the cast, just for the record. No issues. I'm just saying it seems like they're playing it safe, and when Marvel plays it safe, we can get a very watered down movie.
But I mean, to build on what Damon was saying, I think we would be having a different conversation if it was something like even the X-Men, I think, is something that's going to cause them to take more chances, like because they are filling roles for weird characters. And you can't just cast like famous guy A as Wolverine and famous guy B as Nightcrawler. Sure, like they have to fit, right? With Fantastic Four, though, not only does this movie need to work for Marvel, but the Fantastic Four has to show up kind of ready-made as like this, like we're supposed to think they're a big deal.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think if people as famous people,
right? Yeah, and exactly, and I think that, I think that to make a movie like the Fantastic Four, where we're supposed to trust that these characters are well known and well respected as pillars of their world and whatever, and then have them all be nobodies or even just like slightly recognizable indie actors.
Of course,
it's not gonna have the same punch to it.
Of course, and I'm not saying that needs to be done either. I'm just saying we've seen Marvel play it very safe recently with their movies.
Sure,
and it has not paid off. And this trailer looks great, but the trailers, the first trailers we saw for Captain America: Brave New World look great. We were like, hey, that looks. I mean, the trailer's supposed to look great.
I just think that like if we were discussing an X-Men movie, if X-Men was the next one instead of FF, and it was like John Hamm as Wolverine and Kristen Wiig as Amanda Seyfried, or whatever.
You're fired.
It's like famous. It would be like, ugh, no, that's weird.
We're like too old. That person
doesn't work.
Well, but I'm just Kristen Wiig as Amanda Seyfried. Number one, if we got a live action Amanda Seyfried, I would be a happy man.
I'm not even sure why.
Hell yeah.
I'm not even sure. I was like,
where your brain went. I love that.
Yeah, right.
I was wondering, like, what was the next word out of your mouth?
As I was plucking Kristen Wiig's name out of the ether, I was like, oh shit, now I have to come up with a blonde woman. And I was like, I guess I could have gone with Dazzler. I should have.
Movie opens on the French Riviera. There's a huge, gorgeous yacht. They zoom in. Nightcrawler is sunbathing next to Amanda Seyfried.
Oh boy!
Sure.
Whoa!
Oh boy!
Right.
Okay, back to Fantastic Four though. The Silver Surfer. We got a real good look at her. She looks very much like Lisa from Metropolis, but I'm into it. She looks cool. You know.
So John Tverdick in the Nerd TV channel said he is willing to say right now, his hot take is that the CGI on the Rise of the Silver Surfer looked better than what we're getting right now.
I mean, it's
a trailer.
Yeah, it's a trailer.
I also right. My first thought was it's the trailer. The effects are going to be unfinished,
but it doesn't look great.
But I also don't know that I agree with that. I think that we might be thinking about the Rise of the Silver Surfer maybe a little bit more fondly than
I think that she looked worse than the T-1000 looks.
She looked
30 years ago.
She looks very action figure. Like
there's a weird it doesn't. He looked more the liquid robot from 30 years ago looked more lifelike than the woman playing a silver.
I think the
thing goes back, baby.
I think the problem might be that I know this sounds weird, and I know that it's the Silver Surfer, but I think the reality of a character as shiny as they're making her look, means that like
detail is lost.
And also it creates this kind of artificiality, like this statue look, right?
No, I totally agree.
Whereas the Doug Jones Silver Surfer, the one voiced by Lawrence Fishburne, that was like much earlier CGI technology, and he was a lot flatter, a lot more dull, and it wasn't just like that looks like a hood ornament flying around with
think
walking and talking.
Colossus from X-Men, or what was it? X-Men 3 or X-Men? Yeah, when we got Colossus briefly, and they made him so shiny that he looked absolutely ridiculous. And then when they do Deadpool's, they put Colossus in Deadpool.
Colossus,
they dulled him way down, and he looks much more real. I think it is very hard to make the Silver Surfer look as silver as they want it to look in the comics, right? With that said, they should be able to do it with the budget they have. So let's figure it out.
Yeah. Well, and also it's like everything's on fire. And so not only is she super duper metallic, but it's constant reflecting of moving, flickering lights. Right. And it's just like,
I don't know yet until we see more of it, because we only saw.
I think we need to see more.
I think we need to see more.
Yeah, and there was also a part like when she was surfing through the fire that looked pretty cool to me. Like I can't say it just off of the trailer with the CG shit yet. I personally.
No, I agree with you, Damon. I think we need to see more. And I thought the scene of her like kind of crouching down and like surfing through the obstacles or whatever, or through the meteors, was like, oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
So
I thought that looked good.
We'll see. I just like, I would like to see what she looks like when she's not like standing in front of a burning field of asteroids. I want to see what she looks like when she's just standing in normal lighting.
And I think the hardest thing to get done in this movie correctly is the Thing, and they've done that.
Until we get Wolverine, Spider-Man, Ghost Rider, and Hulk.
Hell yeah. Like the real Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Trevor said the exact thing that I was thinking, is that the only shot we see of her is at night.
Yeah.
Every single shot of the Doug Jones character from the earlier Fantastic Four movie is in broad daylight.
That's true. We did get to see Reed Richards' effects too, him stretching briefly.
A little bit of stretch. I thought it looked good.
I think his stretch looks good. And I mean, like I was saying, the hardest thing to do in this movie is going to be the Thing, and they have nailed that. They've nailed it.
Yeah.
Thing looks great. I have no problem with it. I wish he wasn't wearing a shirt, but whatever.
We saw it in the previous trailer, but I thought Sue's effect was amazing.
Oh, the invisible, where she's like turning a little bit invisible. Yeah, what she's doing.
The prism bit was the most intriguing to me, because that really signifies almost a science accurate light effect.
Yeah. And they don't have. She doesn't have to get naked like Jessica Biel did. So.
Oh jeez.
Jessica Alba.
Pardon me, Jessica Alba. All those Jessicas look the same to me. I apologize.
Well, yeah, early 2000s Jessicas are a dime a dozen.
Oh my god.
My thoughts on the Thing are that I think that the animation looks good, and I like, when he moves, it sounds crunchy. When he clapped his hands about the tomato sauce, it made like little brick clapping sounds, which I thought was neat.
That's important.
I 100% agree with Ryan. The voice needs to be more affected. He shouldn't sound like a normal ass dude.
I agree. And I think there's a choice there to make him sound a little more like the actor that is Cousin. So you're comfortable with that voice, and people that don't know anything about Fantastic Four will go and be like, yeah, it's Cousin talking. All right. I just like him, you know?
Like, again, I want to hear more dialogue. I mean, we've heard like decent amount of dialogue, but if you listen closely, there's definitely a Brooklyn accent. Like
he's doing a little bit.
That's not what I mean. Like the accent and everything is fine. Like I don't mind so much the tenor of his talk. I think the fact that he is a giant rock monster means that his voice should sound a little bit like gravel.
I'm gonna hardcore disagree with Joe on this one.
Whoa.
Yeah, I feel like what I'm concerned about is the performance, right? Like, I agree with you that the CGI looks great and the Foley on his hands clapping and everything sounds great, but like, I would think if I was the actor, I would want my performance to come through, right? And it's a little different when you're dealing with someone like Thanos, who's supposed to be fucking monstrous, but like, we're supposed to relate to this guy, and we're supposed to hopefully empathize with whatever character arc he has, and I just feel like I'd rather hear the actor's voice than like another computer manipulated way to change a perforance.
That's fair.
I mean, they didn't really do anything to Thanos' voice either.
I get what you're saying, but like, I don't know. I prefer a more human voice than just like the same kind of drowned out, gravelly, like that we've gotten before.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I guess my thought was I don't need them to go far. I just need it to have a little bit on it, a little bit of a filter on it, so that it sounds like the dude's made out of rocks.
You know what? A little gravel, not a full rock.
You know exactly. A little gravel. Exactly.
Frank, what do you got?
Yeah, I think that it keeps his humanity. You know, that's the point.
That's
it's like the Ben
That's
Grimm.
fair. That's fair.
He's a human being, and I think that's part of that. You're making him less of a monster.
Yeah.
And you're making him more of a human being. You know, he's a human being underneath all of that.
And they're going to play on that this man, this monster thing. You could see him being sad. I used to be pretty,
To Frank's point, when we see the Thing's word balloons, right? A lot of times, if a character is monstrous in some way, they're going to have strange word bubbles, right?
Right.
But the Things are always perfectly normal human word balloons.
Yeah.
And I think it's that's a good point, Frank, is that it's like, oh man, like there's a man in there with his blue eyes. Like I hope we get to see a good shot of his beautiful blue eyes.
Right. And
because that's the Thing's deal.
I also think the Ben Grimm that we know from the comics always sounded like that. Like when he got into the Thing, became Rox, he probably doesn't sound any different than he did when he was on Yancey Street. Like that was just his voice.
True. I mean, that's probably true. That's probably true.
Remember when Alicia first met him? Like she didn't know at first. Like she had no idea until she touched
That's
his face.
true.
Yeah.
Guys,
she just thought he was some dude.
You're convincing me here.
She just thought he was some dude.
I think you're right about that.
Yeah, I don't think otherwise, let's go full Rock Eater from Neverending Story. I think,
Yeah.
Okay, so we know Sue is pregnant. Absolutely confirmed. Full on pregnant. We know there's a time jump. We know this is definitely.
Well, we don't know that there's a time jump. We know that they're in their own universe, and that universe is currently stuck in the 60s.
Well,
not stuck in the 60s, but it is the
retro
60s.
Future. Yeah. It might be more.
It's retro futuristic because
I think it's a time jump.
Fantastic Four technology.
I think there's a time jump because they mentioned Sue being like late, and then later she has a baby bump. So there's maybe it's not a huge one, but there's some kind of time jump. Like she goes from
maybe some time passes.
She goes from not pregnant to
pregnant.
The other
part is the title,
I saw the baby bump too, Matt.
Yeah.
You know what? Part of me thought she's making the baby bump invisible.
That's gross.
For parts of the
disgusting.
Disgusting. But like, but the title, right? First Steps.
Yeah.
I mean, does that mean we're going to see Franklin's first steps? I mean, it's clear why they're naming this movie that right now. That there's a reason.
Oh, for sure.
And I'm curious.
It's going to be a dual meaning, dual meaning with Reed's first steps into space and baby.
It's a triple entendre for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, what if the baby's born before Galactus even shows up?
I like Harvey's conspiracy theory that he was sweet enough to put the spoiler blocker on, but where he said like Galactus is maybe like eating planets and stuff, but he's here because of Franklin, because of something. Franklin can protect the planet,
or
undo
he detected
Galactus.
The birth of such a crazy power, and he's like, "Oh, I got to get me some of that."
Yeah, maybe he just wants to eat Franklin. I don't know. Maybe he's a giant baby eater in this.
Maybe we should just feed him Franklin, and then he'll stop.
Galactus, the great devourer of babies.
Maybe he's just a fan of Pedro Pascal.
Maybe he's just
a modest proposal.
Maybe he's a huge Pascal fan. Maybe that's he just wants to check it out.
Galactus is the Illuminati, confirmed.
Yes.
I mean, we're all assuming that they're going to jump into the MCU universe. Maybe maybe that's not what happens. Maybe that's
I'm telling you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Joe. Sorry.
No. I think you're going to say the same thing.
Damon, call your shot.
Okay, all I was going to say was they are showing all of these shots of, thank you, Fantastic Four, and what an awesome world and everything like that.
Yeah.
That world, they're doing it because they want you to feel really bad at the end of that movie.
Yes.
That world is
that universe.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. And the clue, and I don't know if Marvel's actually keeping track of all this shit, because as we've discussed plenty of times, there were no plans for some of this shit. But when Doctor Strange meets Reed Richards, he does not know who the Fantastic Four are. He makes a joke about the Fab Four, as in the Beatles. He does not come out and say, I know about Fantastic
said that,
Four.
Harvey said that, and I don't think that that's true.
No, it is true. You can go back and check the line. He does not say anything about the Fantastic Four.
No, I understand, but he doesn't say the Fab Four either. It's whoever introduces them says, and this is Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh yeah, didn't you guys have a cartoon in the '60s?
Yeah, that's
joke.
The Beatles.
Didn't you guys start in the '60s?
I get it, Matt, but that's
He's talking.
John Krasinski doesn't look like anything like any of the Beatles.
I understand that, but do you think he'd be like, "Oh, that's not Reed Richards. I guess it's not the Fantastic Four. I won't even bring him up." Like, no.
I think he's making I think that Sam Raimi was making a meta joke, and we're reading way too much into it.
I don't think.
And I think when Multiverse of Madness came out, the plan for this movie was not even on the radar.
No, I agree, but I don't think the MCU, the regular MCU that we know right now, has a Fantastic Four in it. Period.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. But I don't think that he was making a Beatles joke. I think they were making a meta joke about the Fantastic Four cartoon from the 60s. And now we're actually getting the Fantastic Four.
He says you charted in the 60s. You guys charted in the 60s is what he says. He's talking about the Beatles. No question.
So Pizza Papa is Galactus confirmed? I'm confused.
Pizza Papa
is Pizza Galactus. Papa is in the Illuminati. Yeah. One of the funniest memes I've seen recently is like top 3 saddest moments of the MCU, and it's I don't even remember what the first 2 were, but the number 1 was Pizza Papa not getting paid.
Yeah,
it's sad,
man. It's so bad.
It's sad. I think we look. This looks like fun. I think we're off to. I want it to be great, and Marvel needs a hit, and I think they know that. So. Here's to hoping, but that's enough. We've done like 20 minutes on this.
Real quick, I thought Damon was going to say something else. So what I was going to suggest, and this is a theory that somebody on the Discord posted, but I think it's very likely. At the end of this movie, maybe not even in this movie, but certainly during the course of Avengers Doomsday, the Fantastic Four's universe is going to get destroyed.
No question.
And if it's not a Hickman incursion, it'll be a Battle World scenario where a chunk of their planet goes to Battle World, and then when Secret Wars is over, we've got a new universe where all of these characters coexisted.
Yeah, absolutely. No question.
Yeah, it'll be a new timeline. I almost guarantee it.
Yeah. All right, let's talk Daredevil. We have the finale of Daredevil.
Yes.
Daredevil finale.
It was so fucking violent, you guys.
I loved it, man.
It was crazy gory.
Wilson Fisk. That scene.
I want to have another talk about, like, is Wilson Fisk superhuman or not? Because he crushes a dude's skull with his hands.
No, he's just very angry and very strong.
He's very strong. He's not superhuman, but he's very strong.
I'm just saying, like, UFC fighters can't do that.
Look, they did a really, really cool thing with the effects on that, because it is realistic the way he did it, because it didn't actually crush the skull.
Yeah, he used ripped his mouth off. Yeah.
And just twisted. And he just kind of twisted his jaw off. And kind of wrenched his. So yeah, it's horrifying, but feasible.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
And it reminded me of
I do it all the
Game
time.
of Thrones scene.
I do it all the time.
I don't know how feasible it is, just like
forget it.
Grab a dude and go full King Kong killing the snake on him. You know, like
I did it just this morning. All right, what's the big deal?
Regardless of that, excellent. I think we had a great cliffhanger. My only complaint, the one thing that I walked away like, why didn't you do this? They're like, we need to put together an army. And here's just like a bunch of peeps that are like on the show. Like, hey man, what about your friend Luke fucking Cage? Remember him?
When they were in the back room at Josie's, and Karen and Matt are talking, and they're like, we're gonna do this. We're gonna build an army. And he puts the mask back on, and he opened that door. I was like, this is it. This is it. Yeah. Jessica and Luke are going to be behind that door.
Luke fucking
and it was just a room full of fucking cops.
Yeah. Or even some other no-name hero, you know?
An old lady bartender.
Yeah.
Old lady bartender.
And a bunch of faceless cops. So they're ready
Cherry.
to roll.
Right.
Yeah. Go get him.
Like, oh, boy.
Go get him. Yeah, you can handle the Punisher police force.
The whole city of New York, I don't have a good feeling about that.
Like, that's your chance to, like, drop in all these, like, Z-level vigilantes that we see in the comics. Just, like...
Not even Swordsman.
Well, he's in a cage.
Swordsman was in a cage. He was in a cage.
He's in a cage.
That's right.
Save the money.
But it would have been like, I would have, like, if the Swordsman was there and not in the cage, like with the mask on, and like, okay, fuck yeah, all right, you got a badass on the crew here, all right, that's something.
I don't think this. I get the sense that the Swordsman is only a vigilante because he gets he gets a kick out of it, not because he's got any like vested interest in protecting the city.
I think it's because it gets him laid. You know, like
yeah, right. He gets off on it, right? Yeah,
he's a sex.
I think you're right, Joe, but I think he also hates Wilson Fisk, and so if he wasn't locked up, he would be it's like that.
He should have been there. Yeah, I think that Luke and Jessica should have been there at the very, very least. And it was a little bit of a letdown, that last little scene.
Right.
But having said that, though, that's happening, right? I think it has to at this point.
I don't know.
Already, circling
there's been rumors.
Mike Coulter and
all of the actors say they want to be paid more by Disney. To act as those characters. So strangely, the actor's always available.
They've all expressed willingness to have the dump truck full of money back up to their home.
If you could back that up, I need a new pool. If you could, if you don't mind.
So like, there's all sorts of like teasing and stuff. Kristen Ritter posted a picture on her Instagram of Charlie Cox reading her book.
Yeah,
and it's just like, ooh. You know,
Finn Jones got on Instagram and begged for another chance to be Iron Fist. Like literally, give me another shot, you guys. It wasn't my fault. Give me another shot.
Would you be okay with that?
What if it was just Finn Jones and nobody else? Oh, no.
Just Iron Fist shows up and he's like, "I'm ready to go, Daredevil, dude." You know, like no.
He's like, dude. It's just like, not like last time. Just get out of here.
But maybe Daredevil's like, all right, you go first, Iron Fist, and then he just gets shot to bits, and then Daredevil comes in and starts fighting.
You know, I don't remember how Iron Fist season 2 ended, but Misty Knight's the Iron Fist now, right?
No, not Misty.
Not Misty. Colleen.
Colleen Wing.
Colleen, yeah.
Colleen is the Iron Fist.
Yeah.
Think of how much money was spent making those 2 seasons. How much money, and nobody remembers there were. I didn't remember there were 2.
Yeah,
I know.
I do remember, unfortunately, but yeah.
All the bellyaching about not getting all your favorite toys back in the toy box aside, I thought the end of this episode was really, really good.
It was great.
And
it was great.
Yes.
It was moving, and it was also very like timely in a way. And I love
it. Was I mean, like
could effectively be called Devil's Reign.
Sure,
yes.
Sure.
Right. Totally. And look, the head smushing aside, to have John Barenthal just slaughtering police officers left and right on Disney.
The Punisher being the Punisher
was like, whoa.
Grunting, disemboweling guys.
And to have the conversation of like, oh, we're all big fans of your work. It's like, big fans of mine?
Yeah.
You fucking clowns.
Yeah.
That was so good.
Big circles and fucking clowns. You don't know me. You don't know my pain. I was
so good.
I leaned over to my wife. I was like, I like Bernthal's Punisher better than the comics Punisher.
I like.
That's what I was saying in the Discord, because here's the deal with this Punisher. In the comics, he had a sucky past. Really bad things happened to him, and he went off the deep end. But in this version, same thing happened to this Punisher. But he also has moments where he's just very likable, too, which is odd considering he's a psychopath.
Right.
But he's just like, nothing a little copycat. But then when he's in battle, he's like, holy crap.
Like Frank is still in there. He's making jokes. Like even when he was talking to Daredevil and he's like, look, man, I'm all the help you got. So when these guys show up, we're going to chop them up. He's like, I hope you're okay with that.
I'm here to play patty cake is what he said.
Like you can have a conversation with this version of Frank. I don't think you can have a normal conversation with the Marvel Comics.
No.
Frank Castle.
He is a great white shark. Like you are talking to death. I did, but that scene when
he doesn't know what else to do
right after Daredevil steps in front of the guy that Frank was going to execute, and he's like, no, I don't want this. I don't want it like this. And he's like, you don't want it like this? He's like, how about that guy? Bang. And I was like, oh fuck. Yeah. Like he is disturbed.
Well, and I thought, you know what? Speaking of another kind of moment that I thought they missed, that was Cole North.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
And I thought that was the moment where we were going to find out that guy was like, Fisk has gone too far. He was like, I've made my bed. I'm all right. I'm okay to die. Go ahead.
He's faceless bad guy.
It's like they wasted that character's name,
kind of,
and now they can't use him.
Mm-hmm. That was unfortunate.
Yeah. They blew
I mean, great scene though.
Yeah.
But they shouldn't have used that name. I don't.
No, he could have been anybody. You didn't need to use the name, I think is the point.
I might be remembering, was Cole, he was the one stuck to the wall.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he was the last guy with the
But they didn't kill him. They killed the other guy. Oh, no. Well, he blew up. Never, I'm sorry.
The whole apartment blew up, right?
Yeah.
Blew up with him in it.
Explosion.
Unless he got out. Unless he got out off camera. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I don't think he's important enough to assume that the no body, no death rule applies.
Yeah, kind of doubt it. Yeah. If Crossbones gets an off-camera death in a Captain America movie, well, then Cole, you don't stand a chance. Sorry,
yeah, probably not. Yeah, but considering all things considered,
I'm excited for the next season. I think they have landed these first 9. It started a little weird, but then it got on track and. I'm ready. I'm ready to see where it goes from here. I do think they went 100. They went from 0 to 100 with this Mayor Fisk shit real fast.
Yeah.
I love Kingpin's evolution throughout the entire series too.
Yeah.
From basically being a somewhat like, I'm going to eat nicely, my little egg whites and things. As the season goes on, he's eating a little more,
feasting,
being a little more ruthless.
Feasting by the end, right?
Oh, but but I think he was lying about the eating. I think that was for Vanessa.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
He's there and he's sitting in that little room and he's got the egg whites and he's using his knife and he's very gentle and then
he goes down to his murder basement where he
even in that episode he starts I think eating the egg white. So it's like he's doing that because he's showing he's a changed man. But then you get to his dungeon and you realize he's the same heart attack guy he's always been and that he just is pretending. And then they get to a point where he and Vanessa are equals again in the bad stuff. Like he's on board. She turns on that other guy. So then he can stop pretending. Like he was on his best behavior, even though he was still doing his bad behavior.
Yeah. Right. I think he thought he didn't have to pretend for a while.
Yeah. Sharing the feast is like, yep. In
front of that panel, that painting, that blood-covered painting from season 1,
right?
I love that through line though. I love that like visual carry through for people that have been watching the show. It's so effective.
It was really
like, oh my god, like he kept it, like he's romanticized it. It's like it's covered in another man's blood.
Yeah,
it's like ugh.
Well, I think there's also another visual like place marker in the season for Kingpin's kind of character growth, both figuratively and literally, when they're getting ready for that rich person's ball and he tears his jacket.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
that indicator of like, oh, he's getting big again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that line, he even said it, right? It says, "Oh, I guess it doesn't fit me anymore." And it's just like, there's a couple of ways you could take that.
Yep.
Yeah. I thought you guys discussing that. Those of you that were discussing that in the discussion thread, I thought that was very astute to see the change in how he was eating and his clothes not fitting and how it was.
Yeah.
A sign that he was becoming the Kingpin again, if he ever stopped being the Kingpin, right? And that's really good storytelling.
Well, I think the thing is I think as you know, him wanting to be or him stopping or becoming Kingpin again, I think he truly wanted to. I think he believed earnestly that he could change, and I think the backslide was a recognition of nature versus a preconceived plan.
He couldn't lie to himself anymore. This is who he is. And he was lying to himself when he was trying to change.
Yeah. I think him, once he heard that Vanessa took over the business after he basically abandoned it, that showed him that he couldn't. That not only was she a part of that life and wasn't willing to let it go, but that he could not escape it either.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about James Gandolfini's kid.
He's great.
He's
great.
I want to talk about Gabagool here for a second.
I love him,
Mr. Fisk. Let's do it.
I kind of love him. He's like an evil doofus. I kind of love him.
I don't agree that he's great. Now hold on. Let me rephrase.
I think he's great.
I think that he's great, but I think that the story is expecting too much of me to believe that this idiot is going to become the deputy mayor of communications.
Okay, so Joe, real quick.
In about 2 months' time.
Joe.
Matt, don't bring up the real world.
I was going to say, let me ask you real quick.
I want to hear it because we deserve better.
This kid was an intern 2 weeks ago, okay? Yeah. It's not the same thing.
RFK Jr., Joe. I'm just going to say
Matt,
that name.
At least that guy had a career in politics already. This kid was nobody.
He didn't have a career in politics, Joe. He did
Matt,
not.
You can't explain one Nepo baby with another one. You know what I mean? You can't do that.
Right, yeah. I also don't think that Fisk is as dumb as anybody else in the current administration. So
No, he's not.
Have him make that move. I was like, hold on.
He knows he can control him. He knows he's loyal. He knows this dipshit will do whatever he wants and won't question him. That's what
he's given this dipshit enough power to really fuck things up.
Fine. He's going to follow
maybe that
orders.
Will be right. And that might be his downfall, honestly, in the upcoming season. We'll see.
Of course. I just had a really hard time buying it. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah. It's perfect.
He's a goofy motherfucker.
He's goofy.
He is a goofy motherfucker.
He is bad. The character's bad. He's a bad actor.
Oh, I love him.
The whole thing is absurd.
I do want to say
absurd.
Ironically, because I have a fun Easter egg. I don't know if you guys realize this because I did watch it. So did you watch? Anybody know about that little prequel series about Tony Soprano?
Yeah, the many saints of Newark.
It wasn't great.
Yeah. So he plays Tony Soprano.
Yeah.
Young Tony Soprano. But did you know that his dad in that series is John Burkle?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's true. It's true.
So, that's pretty great, though.
Small world, right?
Yeah. So the Punisher is his daddy.
I do think.
I think I was just like
the chances Foggy are alive have jumped to 99 because Karen, every time Matt's talking to Karen, she's looking at him like, should I tell him something?
Yeah, but Matt is a human lie detector. He's gonna know.
Yeah, but. Nah.
She always has that look on her face. She has that look on her face.
That's just it. Karen's always like that. I bet Karen's heart always sounds like that.
I think she does a fine job, but that's the look on her face in every scene. She always says that. Like,
it's true. Foggy's alive.
What am I doing here?
Foggy's alive.
Every time. But
I'm calling it. He's alive. I'll bet you anything. I love her.
See, and I had the opposite reaction, Matt. Like mine went to, he's not alive. It was real.
He's alive.
Once they revealed that Vanessa was the one, I was like, oh shit. They didn't fake it. Like they didn't expect it to happen. He's dead.
He's alive. And she even said when he turns to her and he's like, Vanessa ordered the hit and everything. She's like, Matt, are you sure? Like, are you serious? like, I want to tell you something. Like, Vanessa can still order the hit. I just don't think he's dead. I think they're going to bring him back.
I don't know about that.
I mean,
he's quite dead.
I sure looked like he was.
It would short circuit the entire motivation.
I'm not saying it's.
Series.
I'm not saying I think it's a good choice. I'm saying I think they are going to do it. Anyway, we've talked about Daredevil too much.
I don't agree, but we will see.
Yeah.
Next, it's back in March, so they've already announced it. 11 months, and we'll have Daredevil back again.
Yeah. All right. So
they're making season 2 now.
One more Hollywood thing, and then I want to get into some comic talk. But we got Ryan Gosling is your new Star Wars starfighter, not a member of the Rogue Squadron. He is a starfighter. What does this mean? Are we getting a Rogue Squadron movie and they're calling it Starfighter?
He fights in the stars,
right?
I think they would. If we were getting a Rogue Squadron movie, they would call it Rogue Squadron because people know what that is.
And like, why aren't you doing that?
This is not a Rogue Squadron movie.
I think to have him in
the Rogue Squadron movie was so tied up in what Kathleen Kennedy was doing.
Yeah, I think so too.
That I just don't think they're gonna do it.
No, I think they want to get away from that as much as possible because everybody's tired of it.
Calling him a starfighter, does that mean he's an X-Wing pilot?
I don't know. That's just it.
Don't even know that.
If he's not if he's not an X-Wing fighter,
could be.
What if he's a member of the Empire?
What if he's?
What if he's a TIE fighter?
He's one blonde-haired, blue-eyed son of a bitch, and they like those in the Empire. I'll tell you what.
Very Aryan. Very Aryan. Yes.
In fact, he might be the ultimate blonde-haired, blue-eyed son of a bitch. I don't know. I mean. I can't.
As far as those things go in today's world,
he's just 10, baby. So I don't know.
Are we excited for any more Star Wars? I think I'm a little I get a little more excited when they say standalone because I don't want any more.
Sure.
I don't want any more Skywalker bullshit. I don't want.
I mean, I think everything they've announced so far is pretty much its own thing.
Well, except for the Rey movie, which is not.
Is that still happening?
Did they actually announce the Rey thing?
Not. I mean, less than a year ago, they said, "Yeah, we're doing this Rey movie," and she was talking about it too. Daisy Ridley.
But I don't think they talked about it at Celebration this year.
No, not yet. Not yet.
I think what we saw the Starfighter tease, and there was
a Maul cartoon.
There was some footage for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, which some of our fine listeners were able to find and post in the Discord. I'm not sure if those links still work, but I watched it and it looks fucking rad. Nice. It looked so good.
We'll see.
And then there was they announced a Darth Maul animated project.
Yeah. That's you in Rebels, like when he forms the criminal empire.
So like post
getting cut in half. Post getting cut in half.
After, when he got better from
post amputation, so he's got his little crab legs.
Right. It's one thing for like us to be like, yeah, Boba Fett crawled out of the Sarlacc pit. I'm like, all right, he went in their hole. Okay. Darth Maul got cut in fucking half, guys.
Hey man, you don't know his species. You don't know what they can do.
I guess don't know his physiology.
I suppose. I don't know.
But it's
apprentice.
It's done in that Bad Batch style where it kind of looks like Clone Wars, but it's much edgier looking. Like it looks really cool.
Yeah. And I think if they want to keep telling those stories, animated is the way to do it.
Think about Darth Maul when they basically he kept himself going using the Force.
Well,
there you go.
And then he was able. It has nothing to do with his physiology. He just his own force of his will.
I mean, look, I'll buy that, Frank. There's a built-in no prize explanation for anything that happens to any Jedi ever.
There's an even easier explanation though.
It was in like not Clone Wars, but maybe I think Rebels.
It might be the Rebels. Yeah,
it was in Rebels.
They said that.
Yeah, they basically explained he did it out of hate and anger, and he just kept himself alive until he can kind of like piece himself together.
Sure, but there's an even easier explanation. What happens when any part of your body gets cut off with a lightsaber?
It cauterizes.
But it's not like blood comes gouting out. Like think about the story about the guy in the New York City subway and the train hits him and he's half there and they're like, "Sir," and he's like, "I can't feel my legs," and they're like, "Sir, let us get your loved ones so you can say goodbye," and then they pull the train back and all his guts fall out.
It seemed like this new series is all about how Darth Maul crawled his way back from certain death and through hate and pain and blood built a criminal empire because he's very mad that he no longer has a penis.
Yeah. I mean, sure, that'll do it.
That's a big part.
That could do it.
I mean, he's just like,
I can't blame him.
Can you blame him?
Yeah. I mean, he's got all those horns on his head for a reason. It's not because he doesn't like the ladies. You know what I mean? Hey, ho.
Angry because he had to take a celibate vow when he became a Sith apprentice. Then he loses his penis. This is too much.
Yeah.
I know.
All right, we got a few minutes left. Let's talk about some comics real quick. We're next.
I was really glad to see you guys have a positive response on Spider-Man #1 because I was really getting upset about the hate for Spider-Man.
Oh, it was so good.
It was very good.
I did post in the Discord though that for the time period you guys are talking about not liking the current Spider-Man run, the Amazing Spider-Man comic I think has been low-key the best.
Spectacular Spider-Man by Greg Weisman, creator of Gargoyles. It is. Yeah, he's still writing it.
Animated. Yeah, it's so good.
It is good. Yeah,
it has been.
It's everything I want in a Spider-Man comic right now because it is very low stakes. You don't need a lot of backstory. It's kind of
it's a lot of classic villains too. Like Lizard was in it recently.
Yeah, they're almost like little bottle episodes. I mean, it's really good.
It has been solid.
That's cool.
I haven't kept up on it enough, but what I've read really liked. There's just something about Amazing Spider-Man, about Uncanny X-Men, about. Hey Jim, can I ask you to mute real quick? There's something going on in the background. Or I can mute him.
Jim Stafford.
There we go.
Mute your microphone.
I muted him. He's good. But there's something about the actual title Amazing Spider-Man, the title, Uncanny X-Men. That I need it to be good. Avengers, I need it to be good. And even if there is a side book, the whatever Avengers that are filling in for a minute, and it's the best thing you've read, it's like, that's great. Can't we just do that in the pages of the Avengers? There's something about that. And I think Joe Kelly, the whole 8 Deaths of Spider-Man thing, it was a fun tie-in to what's going on with Doctor Doom. It just didn't land well, and it turned out that they needed to spin some wheels while they got this series going. Why it's a weekly? Is it bi-monthly or is it weekly going forward?
Bi-monthly. It's been 2 weeks. It'll by the time the next issue this Wednesday, it'll have been 2 weeks.
Yeah, so. And I don't understand why we need to do that.
It's twice a month, I think. Twice a month. Yeah.
I don't understand why we need to do it, but whatever. They needed to get some books under their belt.
Spider-Man has been twice a month for so long. Like, being bi-monthly is something Spider-Man started in the 90s. Amazing Spider-Man started in the 90s. They made a big deal out of it. Uncanny X-Men did too, for that matter.
Yeah, it's true.
And so it's just kind of a thing that the Spidey book does. It goes bi-weekly. Especially when there aren't 18 other Spidey books to fill the stands.
Yeah, that's
true. There's 2. There's true. Spectacular Spider-Man and then this one.
Well,
I mean, the Miles book as well, I guess.
Yeah, and then there's 10 Spider-adjacent books too. So,
well, right, but I mean, just like starring Peter Parker.
Right.
There's just the 2.
So reading that Spectacular Spider-Men, the one that has Peter Parker and Miles Morales teamed up.
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about a never mind.
No. Tell us how you. Tell us your opinion.
Damn it!
I dig it. That's all. I don't have any deep.
No, but that's what JD brought up is that he really likes that book as well.
It's very good.
It's a quality book.
It's very good.
Yeah, for sure. But those two play off each other real well.
Definitely.
Yeah. I will. But this new Amazing Spider-Man #1 was.
I'm looking forward to it coming to the lake house.
It was wonderful.
It's what we hoped Joe Kelly was going to do, I think. And starting with an event thing, I can't even say I blame him that much. He had a good idea. It was just there were other artists, other writers, and it went on too long. And whatever. We're out of it. That's the good news. Speaking of things that they constantly do at Marvel, we're killing Thor again. Starting next month, the Death of Thor storyline starts in Thor 23. Thor 25 is the final issue of the Immortal Thor. We will never see Thor again. This is it. He's dead. Forever.
I mean, it's that joke doesn't even work because Al Ewing has already said that this is part of his plan. There's going to be a new Thor series to follow the Immortal Thor.
Okay, there is, but he dropped a hint that it's not the Thor we know.
Come out of this though is getting Storm on the Avengers so far.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Storm on the Avengers is kind of fun. And it's better than anything that's going on in the X-Men books right now. So,
well, and I'm sorry, but just that statement of the Avengers need to have a Thunder God.
Yeah, that's fun.
And him handing it off to her, I thought that was amazing.
That's fun. Yeah, I like that.
It is fun. So the Thor thing is whatever. It's Al Ewing. He's on a journey, and I'll follow him. Sure. Jason Aaron did the exact same shit.
Yeah. But I don't think it's going to be the same Thor. Al Ewing has dropped hints
maybe
that a different...
Maybe Dargo, Thor of the future.
Don't say that. God, don't say that.
The Thor of the 26th century, Dargo.
God, no.
So Uncanny X-Men.
Beta Ray Bill.
That would be wonderful.
Well,
if it was Beta Ray Bill.
Bill's still going through his own shit. They need to fix poor Bill. So.
I mean, that Daniel Warren Johnson Beta Ray Bill series was real good.
I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying Bill is like screwed. He can't change back, and like all kinds of bad things have happened to him. That's why he's a tragic character. I haven't
read the Immortal Thor in so long. I don't have any idea.
It's still great. The Immortal Thor is still low key great, and I think it is one of the best monthly books going on at Marvel right now. There's a lot of other stuff that is happening that is fine. Like even Moon Knight is cooled a little bit for me. That has been great, but it's cooled a little bit recently for me.
I'm so disconnected from most of Marvel just because it's a lot of it has felt very mediocre to me.
Yeah.
There are bright spots, obviously. Like I really loved the new Amazing Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimates. You know, these things I keep up on. They're great. But DC has most of my attention right now.
Yeah.
But I will say this, for all of the complaints that you have about the X-Men, and I'm not saying they're unfounded. I read Uncanny X-Men from this week, and I thought it was exceptional. It feels like
that's a different book.
Yeah,
it feels like Outback
book.
era X-Men. Oh, haha.
Yeah, I've said that from the beginning. I think Gail Simone's Uncanny feels like the Outback era.
I think it has had a rough patch, being part of two crossovers that we didn't really love all that much.
Definitely didn't help.
But I think Gail's X-Men book is actually very good. It also had some bumpy fill-in art.
Yeah.
But David Marquez is back in this issue.
He's great.
And it's a part one of a multi-part story, and it's like adding this mutant mythology. And like, I really, really, really liked it.
I havened read the latest one. I will.
Yeah.
I think the last few issues of Jed McKay's X-Men have been really good as well.
I disagree. I think they've been fine. I think it's been.
I think the overall problem I have with Marvel right now is like, I just feel like it's disjointed. There's no cohesive consistency. I don't feel like any of the books read like they're in the same world as any of the other books.
Yeah, I agree.
And and you know me, I'm the number one Marvel apologist, and so for me to get on a doom rant about Marvel is hard to do, but yeah, the books just don't feel. I don't feel like any of them have any direction.
It feels like they know it's not working. Too. It feels like they know it's not working, and I feel like this last issue of Wolverine that we just reviewed is the perfect example.
It's so bad
of them going, okay, this isn't working. Just stop it. Let's just stop this adamantine thing. Nobody cares. All right, it's done. There, we'll just take a break.
No joke. I don't know if you guys have heard the show yet, read the review that I posted.
Yeah,
but this adamantine storyline with the gold god medal or whatever,
good God,
it has been going on for 8 issues, and no joke,
first issue,
Saladin Ahmed ends that storyline with no actual resolution in 10 pages.
Yeah.
And the ending is more or less like, well, that happened anyway. Let's move on.
I mean, to be fair, the ending is the adamantine goes away. That's it.
Yeah,
like literally walks off.
But the Wendigo thing, the kid Wendigo thing, should have been over in 2 issues.
Should have been over in 2 issues.
It ended in this issue. 8 issues it took to end Kid Wendigo.
It also ends in this issue, and it is not. I mean, it's not a pleasing end, and I don't feel any. I don't know. I didn't care for it. I think it's just there's a lot of that going on in Marvel right now, where I think you're right, JD. They try to do a lot of really disparate things, and those disparate things got so far away that nothing feels connected anymore, and nothing feels like it matters. And
I don't think that like every book needs to. I don't think the books need to be marching in lockstep towards the same unified goal.
No, not at all.
But DC has that feeling a little bit.
Yes.
Where we know that there's something brewing behind the scenes, and it's touching pretty much all of the titles for the most part.
I just caught up on the New Gods. And if you're not reading New Gods, you are
Sorcerer Supreme Doom, the one world under Doom thing.
That was supposed to make it all feel like we were together, right? And it's not.
It's like there's some books adhere to it, some books don't. It seems to, and I'm like, come on, guys, we're better than this.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know.
And then it's like, so there's an Avengers tie-in that just came out this week, Superior Avengers. And to be fair, it does feature a different cast of characters, but it's its own series instead of taking place in the pages of Avengers.
Right.
Which is Superior Avengers?
It's called Superior Avengers. And it's not what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a Thunderbolt situation or a Dark Avengers situation where it's like, these are supervillains we know posing as Hawkeye, Ms. Marvel, etc.
Well, it sure looks
it's not. It's they're characters from the future that are acting as Doom's Avengers under the leadership of Kristoff, who I love. I do love Kristoff.
How do you love Kristoff?
Who the fuck's Kristoff?
Son of Doom.
Kristoff is Doom's ward. Yeah, his adopted son.
Yeah.
From the John Byrne from the 80s. Christoph almost never appears, but every time he shows up, I'm like, hey, it's Christoph.
And when he does appear, all he does is complain. He's like,
anytime I think of like Doom Offspring, and that's not like Victorious, I think of Victor La Mancha.
Oh, right, like the creation of Ultron.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Back to what you were saying though, Joe.
Was he a Doombot or was he created by Ultron? He was created by Ultron.
He was created by Ultron, I think. I thought he was created by Ultron, well, shit. But we'll have to look it up.
Well, one or the other. He's the project of evil robotics.
Yeah.
Well, I just caught up on New Gods at DC, and if you're not reading New Gods, it is easily one of the best comic books on the stands right now, and it is the most far out Ram V craziness that you can possibly think of, and it still feels connected to what's going on in the DC universe. It still feels connected to the Justice League stuff. It feels connected to, very much connected to some secret with the absolute DC universe and the regular DC universe. I think this book is going to have way more to tying that stuff together than
Did Orion eat that baby yet?
No spoilers. No spoilers. Man, New Gods.
So the plot,
incredible.
The plot of the New Gods relaunch is that a baby was born. And I mean, did they say that the baby was a new god? Like technically,
the baby is
it's a baby of cosmic importance.
Yes, the baby is a brand new god, but we don't know, is he a new god or is he like an apocalypse? Like,
but basically, they're like, Orion, you got to go kill that baby because that baby's going to grow up to be a dark side.
Well, not
like
just anybody.
Another dark side.
Highfather told him that. Highfather,
right?
said,
yeah, no,
you got to go kill a baby. Yeah. Which, ooh, like he's supposed to be a good guy, and Highfather's having nightmares, and Highfather's freaking out, and Highfather's seeing like the end of his world and the universe and stuff. Like it's gonna tie into this absolute business. And oh man, it's good. It's so good. DC Comics, you're upset with Marvel?
I need to get caught up.
JSA is not getting better.
I'm still behind.
It's not getting better. Brian, are you still reading JSA?
Yeah, I've read whatever the most recent one is. If it was in my like read pile, it'd be like towards the bottom.
Yeah.
Like I'm not.
Yep.
I think you have a pending question of the week about the read pile, so I've been thinking about it. But I have sort of two reasons for the bottom. Some things it's like I got to read right away, and then some things go to the bottom. New issues go to the very bottom because it's like starting a new thing. Mm-hmm. But some of them go towards the bottom, and then some of them are at the bottom because that's the last thing I want to read before I start something new. It's like a whole thing. But this would be like right in the middle. Like it is a 74.
Yeah.
Like a low C.
Yeah.
Like it's fine. The art
74.
It's a gentleman's C plus.
You know what I mean?
A gentleman's C plus. Yes.
It's not a C minus.
No.
It's a D plus.
It's like it's just fine, and I think it's overly complicated, and I don't think it needed to be. And the team, I don't know. I don't know why it doesn't work. Like I really don't. But
I don't know.
It'll get canceled at some point, and I'll be fine with it.
Yeah, don't get too attached because it's going away. I don't think it's selling well, and everybody that wanted to be excited.
I don't want it to get canceled. I want them to make it work.
Yeah. Well, sure.
For me, I know you guys all want me to go over to DC, but it's like if I'm not happy with Marvel Comics, there's plenty of non-Marvel DC comics that I'm digging right now. I just read Rosenberg's first issue of We're Taking Everyone Down With Us.
Wonderful.
So good.
God, it was wonderful.
And I'm also really looking forward to Tiny Onion's new project, The Exquisite Corpses.
Oh yeah, that looks excellent.
That's coming out soon. I think that's going to feel very similar in vibe to that new movie that just came out, Sinners.
I don't think you're wrong. Yeah, I don't think you're wrong there at all. And JD, I guess when we say, "Oh, you should come over to DC," I'm not talking about. Look. I'm talking about this the way that it's like, oh, if you want to have like a delicious meal, you should go to this very high-end restaurant. No, I read these books because this is a great slutty cheeseburger, and I need this burger to be messy and whatever and just delicious. Like these are my superhero fixes. Like, and so when we're saying I'm not getting my superhero fix at Marvel,
there's a pull quote.
Come over to DC.
New Gods is like a slutty cheeseburger.
No, New Gods is not.
Two-headed nerd.
Justice.
That's a good expensive smash burger.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Justice League right now is a slutty cheeseburger. Your Superman stuff are slutty cheeseburgers. That New Gods book is friggin' masterpiece. It's crazy good. God damn it.
And as soon as either Global Comics or Hoopla gets the absolute stuff, I'm going to go all in on the absolute stuff because I feel like that's a good jumping on point for me.
Totally.
I love Absolute Wonder Woman #1.
Well, you should absolutely read the all-in stuff as well.
All right.
See what I did there?
Why?
Just settle down.
I don't think JD was trying. I don't think JD was trying to make a joke, but then I tried.
No, we'll get him hooked on the absolute stuff, and then he won't even realize what happens when he slips into the regular. You don't have to worry about continuity.
Like, you're a smart guy. You know who Superman is. You know who Batman is. That's the good thing about DC books is that you don't necessarily need to remember everything that's happened to them in the last 10 years.
For sure.
That's true.
All right, the music's coming up. That means we're out of time. We got to get out of here. I got all kinds of stuff we got to do for this weekend, but this was great. Good gang hang. We talk movies. We talk comics. I got
to go dye Easter eggs.
I do not.
Oh, nice.
It's going to be great.
That's a fun part of being an atheist. You don't have to dye shit. All right.
A little joy in your heart, man.
This is a Two-Headed Nerd.
Yes. That's right. I'm watching that too.
Signing off.
And also with you.
It is WrestleMania weekend. Right. I barely feel anything. I barely feel
the build hasn't been great. Yeah, the build has not been fantastic.
No.
Which is odd because Cena, yes, heel turn you would have thought, but well.
I think they blew their load last year with Cody, finishing his story. And this year they're just like, Cody's story is weird. Like, oh, okay.
Very weird. Yeah, this year. It's extremely weird.
We'll see.
And CM Punk's story too is weird.
Damon,
but whatever.
Happy WrestleMania weekend to you.
Same to you, sir.
The real reason for the season.
Talk to y'all later.
All right.
All who celebrate. Later.